Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Think and Drive. We haven't done one of these in a very, very, very long time, but it's kind of a special occasion. This is our intern, Jacob Riley.
Yeah, the expendable crewman on Star Trek.
They're our red shirt, and this is his last day, so say hi and bye. Yeah, we're going to go get pizza at a cool place that I have not been to yet. So
I've heard it's good, though.
I think we're all appropriately happy about that. Right?
Yeah, don't crash.
I mean, how can you be sad with pizza?
Well, it depends on the pizza place, really and truly.
Well,
If it's Domino's, I can be sad. I don't like that.
No, Domino's, you get what you pay for. What's bad is when you go to a pizza place that presents itself as like, you sit down, the waitress comes and orders. It presents itself as something really extraordinary.
Wait, the waitress comes and orders?
And you order from the waitress. Takes your order.
Yeah, I don't...
I'll say this.
You eat this pizza.
If it's one of those places where the people who work there eat and enjoy the food, it's a good restaurant.
Yeah.
So that's why I always like asking, okay, what is the best thing that you've eaten from this place? And if they're like, oh, I don't eat here, I'm like, okay, glass of water, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So what are we chatting about? What are we thinking and driving about?
All right, so.
Dichotomy of good and evil.
Yes.
Go for it.
No.
One's good and one's evil.
Yeah.
All right, done. We got that out of the way. No, I wanted to talk about how do you guys manage time? And, that's a broad subject, but specifically, how do you decide how to use your time when you're adults, you have children? I mean, I'm in college, so obviously I'm a lot busier than either of you dads.
Obviously.
But you want to set aside time to relax. You want to read books. There are a lot of books in the world. How do you decide what books to read?
What
movies to watch?
Say that right now you have way more time than you will ever have the rest of your life.
Yep.
I know we're only, I guess, just a few steps ahead of you or whatever, but yeah.
Well, I don't know though, because maybe when you retire.
Okay, when you retire,
yeah.
but you
you guys might retire before.
You have as much time. You have time, but you don't have the if you're like an average person, you don't have the physical ability that you used to.
There is that.
So it's a trade-off.
True.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be young forever. So
Forever.
you have to keep that in. Do not edit that out.
I'm not ashamed.
So I do think there is that really good question, and it goes into so on one level there's the entertainment, right? Because there's Netflix is huge. So how do you decide what you're gonna watch? What you're
exactly. People are always telling you this show is so good, but it's like every show that people recommend, it's if it's got 6 seasons, they're 20-something hours each, you can't do that.
Right.
I will say, that's just from my personal experience, I'm not a good time manager proactively. Reactively I am, and I mean that outside forces determine how I use my time.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at taking the bull by the horns, as people would say, and
Yeah.
being proactive in that regard.
I've actually learned at school that the times when I'm most proactive with my time management are the times that I'm happiest.
That
makes sense.
When you sit down and grind stuff out and get stuff done that you have to get done. And, well, speaking of reaching retirement age, I hope we make it on this drive. Hope we live that long. But yeah, the times that I'm happiest are when I'm freest because I've taken my life by the horns and gotten homework done or gotten meetings done or what have you, and then I'm free to spend time with other people or to sit down and actually enjoy an episode of Stranger Things or something.
Well, I'll say this, if I really get into a show, like I just watched Parks and Rec for the first time.
So good, man.
It's good. I like
qualified
it.
Good.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it. It's good stories.
Yeah.
Good character development. But I got so invested in the characters, I'm like, okay, I have to know what happens next, right? So it's just one more episode.
I cried.
I'll do this after I finish one more episode or whatever. And so I can't get into shows like that, because my time is going to be wasted.
Right. Yeah. And then when it comes to things like books, I want to hear y'all's opinion on that, because I am the worst. I'm the worst reader.
See, I love reading, and my issue is like I want to sit down and read all the books.
Yeah.
And it's okay. How do I prioritize which book I'm gonna read now? Because when I read a book, I mean, like I'm not gonna speed read it. I take my time and really engage with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to hear you guys. Like, how do y'all kind of prioritize which book you're gonna read?
Well, I think
over another one?
you hit the nail on the head in that you said, you engage with books, and like if you have the mentality that, with obviously with exceptions, but every time you read a book, you come away a better person. You come away developed.
I don't know, man. I read the Da Vinci Code.
I said it's qualified.
You come away, you're changed somehow.
Yeah, you develop
for better
somehow.
or worse. Yeah.
So like, with that mentality, you don't really have to stress about like, am I going to read the right book every time?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But there is that pressure of there are so many good books out there.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
if I'm saying yes to this book, it means I'm saying no to the dozens of others that are sitting on my shelf.
Yeah, what are you going to lose? I mean, at the end of the day.
Have y'all ever heard of the what's it called? It's the phenomenon that our generation is like. Our thing is fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that, and I have that bad, but I think to look at it from an eternal perspective. So, okay, there's only so many books to read, and we only have so long to live and read those books. We don't have to stress out about reading all the good books, because by the time we die, we won't need them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
So I don't have to. I mean, I have a full volume set of Spurgeon's sermons. I would love to read them all. I don't have to stress out about it, because if I don't get to read them all, it'll be okay.
It'd be like us stressing out about maybe there's a better pizza place, or maybe we're missing out on some other great lunch option because we're going here, rather than sitting down and enjoying what's in front of us.
And I would love to be a what's the word I'm looking for? A good but restful reader, I guess.
Yeah, I think intentional reader.
Intentional reader, that's good.
Yeah. Which I think intentional is a buzzword that we use, but
look at
this
parking spot.
We use it
right
intentionally.
In the front. And he said, "Fine, I'm gonna show you how it's done." And he started.
Good for him.
The luxury car competition.
Luxury supercar competition.
All right, that is good. I'm full of pizza.
Oh man. Stuffed.
I'm gonna have a pizza, baby.
I'm gonna have a pizza, baby.
Well, just kind of want a pizza now.
There's a coffee for that.
Yeah. So what were we talking about?
So how do we prioritize? Okay, we're kind of talking about books.
Oh yeah.
We got off on the subject of books,
Yeah.
Easy. Like, we went into the gravitational pull of the topic.
Time books.
Yeah.
So we were talking about here. One thing we do need to go back, because there is this sense of missing out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So how do we combat that? Because I know I have that. Like I feel like, and this is why I've got a ton of books sitting on my shelf with bookmarks about 3/4 of the way in, because I'm almost done, but then I see something else that catches my attention and I want to read it.
Yeah. That's how I read. Like, honestly, when I turn a page of a book, my eyes scan the whole page. And if I catch something interesting, I just skip everything and just go to that one thing. And then I have to go back and reread stuff.
Yeah.
I'm horrible.
My wife will just read like the last 3 pages of a book before she starts it.
Well, in college, that's all I did was just read the SparkNotes and...
SparkNotes is your friend.
SparkNotes is my friend.
Never used SparkNotes. I've gone through now 3.5 years of college without it. Hope to make it all the way to the end.
I didn't.
Nope.
I love me some SparkNotes. I mean, I love reading the books too.
Yeah.
But having that summary right there was just such a great tool for me.
It helps if you read the book before, because for like 3 classes, and almost 3 classes in a row, I had to do a paper on Frankenstein.
Nice.
And I love that book. I've read it twice. Hold on. Red light.
You make it.
Brake check.
And so, like...
By the way, y'all know how that story was written? Mary Shelley?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, I love
I've
the
heard
story
the story
behind
before,
the story.
but I've missed it. I mean, I've forgotten it.
Okay, it was her,
Her?
and she was... I think she was 18 at the time.
Yeah, she was young.
It was her husband, Percy, and
Yeah,
I think it was... Was it Lord Byron? Or Lovelace or Lord something. It wasn't Tennyson, it was something else. I think it was the Womanizer, whichever one that was. It's probably both
Which
of them.
one?
Yeah.
But they were at...
They all were.
They were on a trip together, all three of them, and they were...
In a cabin.
In a cabin, or like a lodge of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like at like a little chalet somewhere, I guess. And it was like a gloomy time of year. And they decided to have a ghostwriting competition.
Mm-hmm.
And so she wrote Frankenstein. Because of course she did.
Of course, why not?
Yeah, why not?
And it's just, to me, it is one of the most, I'm going to sound nerdy here, and of course I don't know what I'm talking about. It is one of the most complex and,
It's layered.
existential
Yeah, it's extremely
stories.
layered. It's just
Can't believe
it's
I've never
great
read it.
literature.
I've never
Oh
read
man, you need to read it. It is amazing.
Dude, you haven't read it?
I love that book.
So good. So good. And
Love it.
approachable.
It's
Yeah.
it's,
Like,
ve-
it's
it's
very,
not
very
a hard
approachable.
read.
No.
It really isn't. It's long, but it's not hard.
Okay, so, but
Anyway.
there are great books out there that's not approachable.
Yes.
That are very difficult to read. And I'll be honest, I'll read parts of them. John Owen is a great example.
Yeah.
I will read part of John Owen, and then I will set Owen aside,
Bit of
and
dab.
then I'll pick up something else, and then I'll come back. Bless you.
Thank
Are
you.
you allergic to Owen?
The dab.
Apparently.
The dab is dead. It died a while ago. I don't know.
This video will bring it back.
So all right. So what's your guys' criteria? Because like you say, okay. So there's a publishing house out there called Banner of Truth. Right now, they have a 100-book giveaway, and I'm just thinking, man, if I won that,
You'd have
Yeah.
all these books that you never read.
yeah. So how do you select the next book you read?
Whatever my church is about to go through in a book
Yeah,
study.
That's what I was gonna say,
I feel like the books choose me.
Yeah, that's exactly true.
That's pretty
Books
good.
just happen, you know?
It goes back to those outside forces that determine how you use your time,
Mhm.
and it determines what I read.
Yeah.
And even then, like I might read it all the way through. I might just do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it. I'm getting better, and hopefully I'll be much better now that I'm done with school. But yeah, it's a struggle.
Yeah, I think part of it is you got to recognize where you are,
Mhm.
what you need, and what book addresses that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I just went through a series where I just had a lot of questions about the Holy Spirit, and so Octavius Winslow's got a great little book on the Holy Spirit. Again, really approachable. I read it. Started reading some Owen pneumatology and just got drowned. And
Yeah.
so I think that there's just some. Find out what you need,
Mm-hmm.
and then find a good book that addresses it.
I
Or
think-
if there's a good story you want to read, just like Frankenstein.
And coming from a bad reader, now as far as nonfiction goes, which I do not like nonfiction, it's okay to not read a whole book all the way through, and once it's okay to kind of peruse through your
Mhm.
bookshelves,
Yeah, you
and just
you're gaining
gain
stuff anyway.
glean little bits out of how many books.
Yep.
And pick one up, read a page or a paragraph, put it down, go and move on to something else.
Mhm.
Because I think that's as beneficial. You're covering more ground. It's the difference between being a mile deep and an inch wide, and then being a mile wide and an inch deep.
Right. Yeah, I think that's good.
And the happy medium doesn't exist.
All right, so let's make it hard for people. Your top book recommendations.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name because he's French.
We don't read French people.
Well, I'm gonna
Unless
go ahead
it's
and
a Les
recommend one.
Mis.
That's
Well, yeah, no, it's like
racist.
imagine the opposite of Les Mis, something short, written for children, and like really joyful and enjoyable.
Is it-
Is The Little Prince.
Yeah, I was about
Oh,
to say.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
And it's
book-
on Netflix too, right?
Yeah, it's
The
a
movie
great
and the book
story.
are completely different. Not saying the movie's bad. It's just like it's not the same experience.
Yeah.
You're gonna get something completely different than you can't. It's not a movie you can watch and compensate for
Right.
reading the book. The book's, it's a beautiful, pleasant read, and it's got some really hardcore, deep philosophy in it. I mean,
I'll tell you, I like children's books.
Oh yeah.
Like reading to my kids.
Sometimes
now,
you get more from a children's book than you do from
I
an
think
adult
you
book.
do. Andrew Peterson, Wingfeather Saga. So
I've heard a lot about that.
I heard a lot about it.
So good.
Never
I love
actually
reading it to my
read
kids. So
We just bask in the glow of everyone else's enjoyment and go, yeah,
Yeah.
those are good books. Yeah, we agree. Okay, so we're back, and we're done with this video.
Jacob,
this is it.
thanks for coming and working with
Everyone
us.
Yeah,
clap
thanks for that.
for Jacob.
We've enjoyed it.
No,
We've
no
enjoyed
clap
you.
for Jacob.
Go read his articles.
Yeah, read his articles. They're all up on our website, which is engagemagazine.net. And there you will find all of our other wonderful and amazing content that you do not want to miss out on. So, thanks for watching this video. And as always, share truth, apply scripture, engagemagazine.net. We'll see you in the next video.